Greetings and welcome back, gentles and ladiesmen, to the Sonic Adventure 2 research project. I'm Exio, the ExoParadigmGamer, and with me I have yet another guest to tag along for Egg Quarters. Introduce yourself, kind sir.
Hello everyone, I am Alec Alger, the Side Quest Gamer here, and today I'm not getting my ugly mug on camera as I join ExoParadigmGamer for Security Hall.
You know, the thing about Sonic Adventure 2 is that it was originally released on the SNES.
The original version used the Super Effects chip now.
Oh god. But, yeah, so this, why don't you introduce yourself for real quick, just so people aren't confused.
Well, my name is Jay of Jay's Reviews. I make Mega Man X videos that get millions of dislikes and everyone hates me, but, in all seriousness, I tend to do more analytical game reviews these days, including a 2-hour-long review of Metal Gear Solid 2.
It was an hour and 43 minutes, but...
I mean, the rounding on it's 2 hours, okay?
And most of that was just plot summary stuff.
Incorrect. It was detailed gameplay analysis from timestamp 0 to 1 hour 45.
I listened to the whole thing, my friend. I know that a good hour of that was just plot summary.
I see. Now anyway, what do we have here today?
So today we're here in Egg Quarters, which is the way I sort of like to liken it is that there are some reused level themes in Sonic Adventure 2. And I like to you just saw that we just skipped a key right there. I did that on purpose. Like if this was a trial run, I would have grabbed that son of a bitch. But like you can consider Dry Lagoon and Wild Canyon to be Act 1 and Act 2 of like the desert zone. You can consider Egg Quarters and Death Chamber to be Act 1 and Act 2 of the pyramid level, so to speak. And so there are some similarities to the way the stage is laid out compared to that one, but because Death Chamber is Knuckles' second to last stage and Egg Quarters is only Rouge's second rather, it's much smaller and much easier and much faster to complete than Death Chamber was. Like I hear people in the comments were complaining about this one, and I'm like, really? I like what I think it is that they're mixing up Death Chamber and this one and assuming that they're the same when they're actually pretty different.
I like the opposite ends of the treasure hunting spectrum.
Yeah, like Death Chamber, I still think is the worst stage probably the worst stage in the game, honestly, out of all 30 of them.
Yeah, I don't remember having too much trouble with any of the rest of them.
It's definitely the worst treasure hunting stage, I think. But Egg Quarters, I think, is really, really fun. And the reason for that is that, first of all, there are no hourglasses. I got that by accident, but I wasn't about to restart because sometimes if I like read a hint by accident, I'll restart the stage and redo it from scratch, but I don't know, as long as I'm getting the third key at the end of that third round, it doesn't really matter in terms of time, but the difference, so with Death Chamber, it was built like a giant triangle, and I've actually been doing some of the other missions and going for all the A ranks recently in the game, and I found out that that the stage is actually shaped like a giant diamond, and that there's a fourth one of these big rooms that's actually hidden like in an underwater passage in Death Chamber. That was really cool, but with this stage, there's still 3 color-coded areas. There's an egg scorpion chamber, an egg fish chamber, and an egg grasshopper or mantis chamber, I think. And then there's this red room.
Snake, I think.
Was it a snake?
Yeah, I think so. That's what one of the hints told me today while I was playing it.
All right, and you're probably right. Maybe the mantis is, and then there's that red altar room. And the deal with that is, so another big difference between this and Death Chamber is that there are way less hallways to choose from. This level's basically built like a giant circle sort of thing. And I don't know, honestly, I don't know how a new player would react to that beetle, because it was only on recent playthroughs that I discovered that you could hide from the beetle and turn off the alert phase by going into the shadows. So if it took me
really?
Yeah.
I knew that in my first playthrough, because I think Oma Chow tells you something like that, but I'm not sure.
I know, I remember when I first played this, I thought that thing was really scary, because I was only like 8 years old or something. No, I was probably more like 9. But, you know, still, I found it scary. And then, just ever since then, I've just ran past him, because unless if you're doing the B mission in the stage where you have to collect 100 rings, it doesn't really matter if you get hit.
There's not much threat to him. He just sort of hits you once, and I just sort of take the hits and run.
Yeah, that's what I do too, but I don't know, maybe most new players actually bother to hide every time it comes up, but I don't know. I feel like most people would just run past him. That seems the most intuitive thing to me, because it's like, one thing I discovered recently is that while rings do increase your score, you don't lose score. Like, it's like whenever you pick up a ring, you get like 10 points. Or, no, more like 100. So, that means that if you drop the rings, that 100 points doesn't go away. So, it doesn't, you know, really matter.
Is there like a mission where, like, getting caught kind of like, I don't know, reduces the rank or something? Like, so, or is this thing just sort of there in the stage? Doesn't really mean much?
This thing's just really just kind of there.
Okay.
But...
So... Yeah, go ahead.
So this stage has... Like, with Death Chamber, the problem with that level is that there are so many... Like, even with the map, there was a lot of backtracking you had to do, and there was that giant machine in the center that was pumping stuff. And... You know, there were so many little nooks and crannies to search if you're doing like a Newbie Run sort of style thing. Whereas with Egg Quarters, while it does share a lot of the same set pieces, it only has like 3 hallways that connect these rooms, and there are way less side areas in this stage to look in. So, believe it or not, while the Newbie Run for Death Chamber took about 21 minutes, the Newbie Run for this stage is only going to take us about 10 minutes. So this stage is like only about half as many places to look compared to the other one, and I tried to be thorough. And I should state that this Newbie Run is actually a re-recording, because I wanted to, much like Death Chamber, my original run did not include a thorough exploration of those upper vault areas above the statues. So I redid this run to include that, and I tried to, I don't know, be a little bit more mindful of the upgrade in the stage, which allows Rouge to dig. Unlike Death Chamber, you don't need the dig to progress anywhere. Like, there are no walls you have to dig through to get to another room. But you will. My guess is that at least one of the keys per batch is buried, so you're required to find it. And there is an Omo Chow who will say, "Have you found a digging tool? Some emeralds may be buried." Yeah.
So like the game's like pretty much leading you towards that. So it's not like it's a hard thing to find in and of itself, right? It's like right around the entrance.
It actually isn't. It's in the Eggfish Chamber, and you start out here in the Egg Scorpion Chamber.
Oh, okay.
So you do have to kind of look for it, but it's like in a really obvious spot, and you know, it's like you'll find it eventually. Just like, especially if you're being thorough and looking everywhere, like there's no way you can miss it.
Okay.
But, yeah.
For myself, I'm just gonna say, like I told you, I was gonna play this stage again. I played it 5 times, and really, it only ever took me around a minute and a half to 3 minutes max when it came to looking for hints. I don't know how your hint run went, but I always thought that's how it turned out for me.
Oh yeah, my trial runs will be included in this. But I guess on that note, what are your 2 cents on Sonic Adventure 2 as a whole, Mr. J?
Well, once upon a time, I was once along the popular majority opinion on Sonic Adventure 2. I just sort of thought it was... Well, I'm not sure if the popular majority is that it's an alright game. I was about to say it was an alright game, but... People hate this game, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm not
never
sure how many, because it's like one of those things where it's called availability error, and I'm sure that explains many of the things that people have said I've said that are like straw man-ish. It's like when the only times you ever hear people talk about a game is in like a negative fashion. Like, before I did this project, I had no idea that there were so many other people who actually knew these stages really well, because all I really heard from were people who said, "Took me 20 minutes to beat Mad Space." Or, in Jay's case, "It took me 27 minutes to beat Meteor Herd."
I still don't know how that happened, but
yeah.
I think it's the better that I forget that memory, the better.
And then, like, I've done this project, and it's like most of the people who are really watching are people who are experienced with these stages, and are like, I don't know, I guess I'm glad that someone else is sort of talking about it, because there isn't really anybody else doing anything like this, as far as I know. So
definitely not, especially with all like the standard deviation stuff. I don't think that's about as much effort as anyone else wants to put in. So
yeah, you know, it's a good opportunity to flex those statistics skills I've been building. Yeah, so like honestly, I don't know if it's like for all I know, there could still be a decent majority of folks who prefer this to Adventure 1 and think it's great, even, or it could be that the availability error is actually correct in my case, and that most people do hate this game. I honestly don't know anymore. It's like whenever I say, like, for example, in my original Sunshine script, I was like, the original title is going to be, "Is it really that bad?" Because as far as I knew, people still don't like Sunshine all that much. Yeah, I got caught by that stupid beetle. But, you know, as I was talking to more people, it was like, in the group chat that Jay and I are both in, Michael, the other Michael, was like, "Exio is pulling this thing out of his ass that people still hate Super Mario Sunshine. Where did that come from?"
Yeah, and, so I don't know, is there going to be a title now in that case?
Yeah,
because
like, I think the title I'm going to go for is "Why Super Mario Sunshine is Even Better Now Than It Was Back Then," or something along those lines.
Okay.
But
well, we just beat the newbie runs. That's they got D rank, right?
Yeah. So that's because, like, if you end up having to search every little nook and cranny of the stage before you find each emerald, then it'll take you about 11 minutes. But, you know, it's like, apparently people have a hard time with the stage. I don't know why, because it's much...
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's much less intricate than Death Chamber is. And just the fact that there are no hourglasses makes a huge difference in stage completion times alone. So the fact that they've also cut out like 3 of the hallways and the giant pump chamber as well just makes it a much smaller, more manageable stage. I really like Egg Quarters. I think it's one of the better treasure hunting stages in the game. But
you know, I'll take this over Security Hall or like Meteor Herd, Mad Space, etc. It's one of my more preferred ones. But back to my story about SA2, since we didn't quite finish there. So it was that Exo was when I around the time I met him like 2 years ago, and it was just, he kept saying to replay the game, so I replayed the game, and I thought it was a lot better than I remembered it being. In fact, I made a garish video about the subject, but the thing is that after that, I hadn't played the game since then, but the thing was just that when I did, I never really had negative feelings towards it, but after he started doing this project, kept saying use the hints. I honestly never used the hints, honestly, because I don't remember them being there, because when I was a kid, I just always used the radar, and then when Johnny told me in his review that the radar was useless, I just sort of said, oh, okay. I mean, not the radar, that the hints were useless, I said, oh, okay, they must be useless. Better not look at them. It's like...
Yeah.
So...
That, you know, it's... Because, like, when that review originally came out, that wasn't the popular opinion, and that
everyone
took a lot
he
of
got a lot. I
balls.
think he got a lot of flack for that because everyone loved the game at the time.
Yeah, so I mean, like, it's something I can respect, I guess, in that regard, because I make videos like that all the time, where I go against the popular opinion. And it's just like, in retrospect, it's amazing how much of a difference one person can make.
Yeah,
when you have just that many people watching you. Especially
the same
because,
can
like,
be made for.
So I mean, certainly, if I'm going to be truthful, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of shit for this as well. When I was a kid, I didn't use the hints either. It was only like within the past couple of years that I actually tried using them and found out how much easier it makes the stage. And then I'm kind of mystified too, because like all the tutorials tell you that that's what you're supposed to do. So why is it that me and everybody else, you know, still has it in their head that they shouldn't be using these things?
When it's like, I know, to be fair, they have to require more spatial awareness than the SA1 hints, But in and of itself, just being in the stage for 2 minutes, like I'm pretty sure you've said already, would be enough to make the hints make sense. While I was playing it today, it's like the first hint would be something vague, like I can't even think of it. It's just something vague, you know what I mean? But it's like the second hint is the egg fish chamber. I'm like, oh wait, there's one with water, right? Goes over there,
Yep.
finds it. It's really easy. It takes about a minute and a half. Because think about it, like you've already said it a million times, but I got an A rank 4 out of the 5 times I played. And the only time I didn't get an A rank is because I was on Twitter and I blew my nose and all that stuff. So I mean like it's just that it's not actually that hard. And like if you really want an A rank, then you probably would have gotten it if you used hints, because hints don't make that much of a difference on the ranking. Since like I said, I got an A rank 4 out of 5 times.
How many hints did you use?
Generally 2 per emerald, seeing as, like I said, the second one usually told me all I needed to know. The third one would probably just be overkill.
Yeah.
So, like was that the first hint you got, a dark room? Or is that like the...
I think, that's the first one for this one. Second one is a red path, so that means that we're heading for the egg scorpion section of the level. And sure enough, there's
like the
red
hallway
markings.
in between.
And...
Like, here it is.
Near
Like,
the
right
ceiling in
here.
a small room by a path. A dark room, red path. Near the ceiling in a small room by a path. And yep, there it is. And
I already got it, so...
Because like that,
yeah.
I said it in the death chamber parts that I didn't think the hints were especially good in that level, but for egg quarters, I think they're a lot better. Because there's not as many like, look for the bug that's doing this thing. It's just like, where would that be? Suspended above the snake altar, so that means the red altar, which is down this hallway right here. So, and sure enough, there it is, just floating above. So it's like,
what rank are you gonna get?
for this,
Or I guess we'll find out in a second.
yeah, honestly I don't know, because this is I think this is still the full hint run.
I think it is too, because you got like 3, or like I think in the trials you do 3 hits per star, or not star, key anyway. But I'm curious to see what your rank is. Like I said, I got an A rank.
Not too
Yeah,
C, okay. It took it took me around a minute and a half to 3 minutes to get all of them. So
Yeah,
that's probably why. But still,
yeah, I think you might have actually gotten better times than I did for my try. I don't know. I don't remember what my try run scores were. I guess we'll find out in a moment. But
maybe because you are like looking for more hints and using all 3. So like I said,
Yeah.
I looked at the 2 and immediately sped over to that area and found it right away. So who knows?
yeah, so I mean, look at how much faster you can run in this stage than you can in Death Chamber.
The spaces are just more open.
Well, I mean, it's like the
And there's-
same level
and there's a lot-
design. The difference
and
is
there's a lot
that
of,
you don't have to hit hourglasses to open doors at all. You can just run. It's got to be around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Or maybe up there.
No.
Oh, it's in that thing. Yep.
So I already
Holy
got
altar.
it. So
It's only been
Yeah,
about 30 seconds. So, yeah, so 2 pairs of different length legs. Maybe that refers to it's probably one of the statues it's talking about. Oh wait, it's yellow, it's gotta be around here. But, yeah, so would you say that using the hints has made things a little easier in these stages for you, Jay?
absolutely. I mean, like, I'm not trying to like be a fanboy or something. It's just more of a fact that it makes the game more enjoyable. Like, it really does. Like, thing is that I care about ranks as much as the next guy, but when it comes to like a speed stage, I find looking for ranks to be more enjoyable there because it's like a straightforward challenge.
Oh,
Here,
wait. It's on the pillar.
if I'm supposed to be taking my time here, I might as well. But I don't want to be like here for 30 minutes. Like, nobody wants to be here for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So why not just use the hints? Because like literally watching your newbie run was driving me insane. Because like watching like you go around in circles, walk past obvious ones. Because I know that's the point, but it's literally like, how can anyone find that more appealing than using hints?
It says something about following the line, and there it is. It's up there. So took me about a minute 50 in my first run, and I know I
that's
know
about
for
as
a
long as it
fact I
takes
got an
me.
A rank every single time. So yeah, I think this is this example stage I used in the review. Because like I said all the way back in my review, you can use just 1 hint per shard and still get the A rank. So apparently people miss that, or more than likely not everybody watched my review. So Yeah. But I digress.
So, yeah, that's just why I just feel as if this hint thing just makes it all the better. And since I played through I was going to say all 7, but all 6 playthroughs of SA1 recently, because Gavin did his review and I recorded all the footage for it. So, I got to play the Knuckles stages again, and while they are not bad, they're not unfun to play, it's just more like, I don't know, I might just have to prefer this one. I mean, because, like you've been stressing, well, I don't find the Knuckles levels in SA1 bad, I just find as if 30 seconds, and, like, Skydeck is probably the only one that takes more than 30 seconds to beat, I think. Casinopolis might take more than 30 seconds as well, but still.
Spoiler alert, there's going to be a bonus episode for this playthrough that I think will actually be airing on Friday, where I go through basically do trial runs for every SA1 stage. And I think I found that the average was about 1 minute and 20 seconds, plus or minus like 18 or 20 seconds.
But if you skip cutscenes in Knuckles' playthrough, then that means you're getting 4 minutes of game time, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you gotta count the time you spend bumbling around the hub worlds too.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
There you go. If you know what you're doing, 20. Then if you use Tikal in the hub worlds, then that means Knuckles' playthrough is about 20 minutes long.
Yeah, and I don't know, like even just playing those again, and I guess I'm spoiling a little bit of what some of my commentary will be. Is just the control in this game is way, way better than in SA1. Like Rouge and Knuckles I think, by far the best control of any characters in this game. Because, like, Sonic and Shadow control fine. The mechs are not, like, perfect, but I think they're more than functional. But Knuckles and Rouge, oh my god, they have such fluid control, it's not even funny. And then you go back and play SA1, and Knuckles just feels heavier, and he glitches through walls. Like, I was surprised at how much glitchier SA1 was than I remembered. I was playing it
to be fair. Oh, yeah, I'm assuming we were probably going to the same angle with that next topic, but still.
Yeah, I was playing it on Nintendo, so I don't know if that made a difference. Like, as far as I can tell...
I'm pretty sure that's just the GameCube version, then.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't remember the GameCube version being that bad, but it's just... there was a lot of
I was playing the Steam version recently, and that's when I was going through walls a few times, and I was like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
I didn't see it coming, but it happened like 2 or 3 times, and it was like...
It's really the only thing that the SA1 stages have over these is that they're so easy that there's no learning curve for anyone, essentially. Or a minimized learning curve that, like, you can't possibly spend longer than 5 minutes in any of them.
I think with SA1, the more spacious level design makes the controls not so bad, but still, those treasure hunting stages, they kind of suck. I mean, like, for completely different reasons than for why most people hate these treasure hunting stages. It's just they kind of suck because they're as mechanically deep as a puddle.
That's exactly it. And I should pay more attention to our hints, because I do want to comment on those, just so that people see. Under the hieroglyphics. Now, that's not a very useful one on its own, but... you can use the second one if you want, and because this stage is so small, I guess I'm getting closer, so... it's gotta be up on the wall over there or something. Oh, wait, there it is. Under the hieroglyphics. Yeah, there's hieroglyph. Yeah. You're saying, Jay?
I was just saying, SA1 stages are just so mechanically simplistic that they're just not that fun. And the same goes for... I mean, like, I didn't think Amy's gameplay was bad when I played it again, but those stages were still really okay, and then... she has so many cutscenes that if you take out her cutscenes, and then that's still about 5 minutes of gameplay, and her stages combined. Actually, no, I think Hot Shelter goes on for a pretty long time, but still, she's got, what, 3 stages? Most of them are like 3 minutes?
Yeah, I think so.
So, really, if anything, a lot of Sonic Adventure's extra stuff is just filler.
Yeah.
That's not Sonic.
And that's why I could never agree that the first game is better, because if it's not overly simplistic gameplay, if it's not sitting around through boring repeat cutscenes that you don't care about, like, thank God for the GameCube version adding the ability to skip cutscenes. That makes it And I also found out recently that the DC version is only 30 frames per second. In the GameCube version.
Is it really? I never noticed that.
Apparently, the GameCube version and beyond is, like, if you want 60 frames, you gotta play at least the GameCube version, if not the PC version.
And so, with that said, if you like the Dreamcast lighting is what people like the most, so that since the PC version has a widescreen and Dreamcast lighting mod,
PC version only has widescreen if you patch it, but that is.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it was like the Dreamcast graphics mod and also has widescreen with it. So that's what I was saying is like that's why if you want to play SA1, you just really need the Dreamcast lighting and widescreen, and that's the version to go with because even then the Dreamcast version has 30 frames per second and can't skip cutscenes.
Yeah. So I think this ended up being my longest run of the stage, and I still got an A, and I used like 2 hints for that last one. So those time bonuses, nothing to sneeze at, folks.
Mm-hmm.
So tell everyone you know that hints help. And I think Gavin left a comment on an earlier part saying hints don't help, and I wonder how much of this he even watched before that. Because the levels that I'd shown before that clearly show that hints do help, but I guess he wasn't paying attention or something.
What do you expect? It's IKG.
Well, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what to expect because I don't know him super well.
Oh well. Anyway, so what is this like? This is what Trial 5?
I think this is like the 4th one.
Okay. Well, still, we already have coming up on the first one, which is under here, I guess, but I don't know. I'm just saying is that my train of thought earlier was about SA1 and how I just feel like the game is just kind of dull.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like the game
I don't
as a
think it's
whole,
bad.
or just the treasure hunting?
No, the treasure hunting is kind of dull, but I mean like a lot of the aspects like cutscenes and Big's gameplay. Like, I don't find Big super frustrating like everyone else does. I just find that it's boring. I don't find it fun. But the meme that it was super difficult is what I disagree with. But in general, Amy, Big, and even Tails, even though Tails plays fine, it's just that his playthrough is such a waste of time.
Yeah, you're basically just going to, like, repeating 90% of Sonic's playthrough. Except you can fly, which makes a difference, but just the fact that you go to all those same stages in the same order and basically watch all the same cutscenes, but with new dialogue.
Slightly new dialogue at that.
I mean, it's actually more different than you think. Like, they make Eggman way more menacing in Tails' version.
Yeah, that's true, because I had to watch all the cutscenes, and I didn't find... I mean, I was on Twitter for most of the cutscenes, to be fair, but still,
so,
it was just
you know what? And I was playing the games for the review. I was doing the exact same thing.
Because, like, who cares? It's boring. But, like I was just saying, is that Tails' playthrough, when you think about it, is kind of a waste of time. Because, other than the Sand Hill level, the entire thing is... And Speed Highway at the end. The entire thing is the same as Sonic's, and then there's no race at all. Because, like, it's supposed to be a race, but there is no race.
Yeah.
You're winning. Like, if you lose, then you suck.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, you could say that about Jak 2's races too, technically.
But Jak 2's races, if you win on your first try, then you must be a god of gaming.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, usually if you are losing, it is because you suck.
Jak 2's races are pretty damn bullshit, but still.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But still, I haven't played the game since the Let's Play. I was about to say the review, but I remembered I did a playthrough of it, so yeah.
Yeah. That's about...
Anyway.
Yeah, I think we've got one more trial run, and then we'll be looking at our stats real quickly. Yeah. But, I mean, that's pretty much my view of SA1 in a nutshell. Like, Sonic is easily the best part, and he's also the longest playthrough. Like, honestly, if I'm going to come back and replay SA1, that's probably the only part I'm going to come back to, really.
Because Sonic's playthrough in and of itself tells a complete story, but I guess you could play Sonic, then Super Sonic, and then call it a day.
Yeah, I suppose. Because it's just like Knuckles and the other characters don't really add anything much to the story. Like, I guess, you know, Knuckles, they at least kind of bother to go more into his role as the protector of the Master Emerald and, like, the last of his race and stuff like that. But
Well, that was kind of underplayed. Like, when Knuckles goes back to the past, you'd think there'd be much more of a reaction other than, huh? That's weird.
I chalk most of that up to the bad presentation, honestly. Like, there were good ideas in the SA1 story, but it's just like the presentation wasn't good enough to really draw them out and do as much with them as they could have.
I see.
But
And I just feel as, in general, I just thought that there were some missed opportunities, but the game still did have plenty of good scenes, like in Super Sonic's playthrough, where Sonic sees the part where Chaos attacks, or no, like when the echidnas attack Chaos, I guess. That part I always felt was well done, but still, I guess for the most part, the presentation was definitely the main cause of why I felt as if there were missed opportunities within the story itself.
Yeah.
But as you were about SA1.
I don't know, it's just like the game is so shallow. Like, it's one of those cases, because like I feel like as much as you don't like Sly 3, I feel like even that game had more of like a difficulty curve for some of those playstyles and actually
Dimitri's playstyle in Chapter 5, like, you get the introduction to it, but then in Chapter 6 is when you do the really difficult one with the monsters coming out of the side of the water to attack you, so that's true.
Yeah. Because it feels like there was an effort made, like, as much as the variety was maybe unwelcomed, it feels like they made an effort to draw as much out of those playstyles as they could. Whereas with SA1, it's just like, well, we've made the Sonic playthrough with 10 stages, and it goes at about an hour, but this is a big modern game. We need something bigger than that. I know, we'll stick in 5 more characters and reuse stages. So it's like you're playing Casinopolis again, except this time you can climb on walls and find stuff in it. And you're playing Twinkle Park again, except you have to go inside the castle now, and there's a robot chasing you. It just feels like SA1's, the hint was between the 2 skulls. It just feels like none of the gameplay styles besides Sonic and Tails, to an extent, really have a full, meaningful difficulty curve where they really bring out as much of the playstyle as they could have. Whereas with this game, because there are only 3 playstyles, and because each playstyle has its own level design, it really feels like you go from Prison Lane as Tails to Eternal Engine, and there's a pronounced difficulty curve where things get harder as it goes along, and you're, racking up combos is actually worthwhile because you're ranked on how many points you get, and then you play Sonic and Shadows levels, and they get slightly longer and have more bottomless pits as you go along. And then you play the Knuckles and Rouge stages, and they start out pretty contained, but gradually get more complex and bigger, and your reliance on the hints increases because of that. And it's just, this game has much more developed gameplay than SA1 could ever have, and it's like, I would never pick SA1 over this game. It's just how it is.
I think that's the kind of reason why I prefer something like Sonic Advance 3 to something like Sonic Advance 2, because...
you cut out for just a moment.
Oh, sorry. I think that's why I would prefer a game like Sonic Advance 3 to Sonic Advance 2, because since, like, in Sonic Advance 2, you have to play through all four playthroughs to see the ending of the game, and therefore it just makes the whole game feel a lot more repetitive, and as if the levels aren't as intentionally laid out, I guess. But in the third game, since there's only 1 playthrough, I feel as if coming back to it as different characters is more satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's an ice cream truck going by. But anyway, I guess that's pretty much all I had to say about that level, I guess. Thanks for bringing me along as the last resort, but still.
Now, hold on just a moment. We've still got to take a quick peek at our statistics. So, I'm going to about 34 or 39.
Yikes, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I can hear the Scott Joplin piano music playing in the background. But so our statistics for egg quarters, our Newbie Run was about 11 minutes and 9 seconds. Full hint run is about 5 minutes and 52 centiseconds. So right off the bat, you could see we shaved off about 6 minutes and 8 seconds just by using 3 hints per shard. And my guess is that if you're using them properly, you could beat the stage even faster than that. In terms of trial scores, you can see it's all hovering from about 1 minute and 50 to about 2 minutes and 54 seconds. Trial mean is 2 minutes and 30 seconds, which is not too bad. but with the standard deviation, that's pretty low, only about 27 seconds. And as you can see, we shaved off about 8 minutes compared to the Newbie Run, based on experience and using hints properly. And the difference is only about 2 minutes. So, you know, experience doesn't make a huge difference with the stage, I'd say, compared to some of the other ones. So, Egg Quarters, I think, is probably one of the... compared to some of the other stages in this game, in terms of treasure hunting, it's nowhere near as offensive as something like as Mad Space can be when you don't use hints. But yeah, so that's our stats for Egg Quarters, and with that we'll wind down here. Mr. J, where can folks find you?
Well, you can find me on the J's Reviews YouTube channel, where I do video game reviews.
Well.
And maybe other things. I've been wanting to do TV, movie content forever, but if anything, I kind of find that more difficult than doing game reviews. I don't know why, but it's just not having... I guess since it's a less involved experience, I have a hard time talking about it, but that's besides the point. If you like Mega Man and Sly Cooper, actually, when this comes out, my X videos will be done, but whatever. If you like Sly Cooper, you probably have a lot to get yourself into, because I have the longest Sly videos on YouTube.
What about TGX's 2-hour-long video about Sly 4?
That's the only exception. But still, I have the longest Sly 1 and 2 review on YouTube, so that's something, right?
Yeah, and by the time this Let's Play episode comes out, Jay will probably have redone those videos again and made them 25 minutes longer a pop, so you can look forward to that.
Well, I wouldn't put it out of the... I wouldn't doubt that I would do that, honestly.
Yeah. You're going to be making Sly videos for the rest of your life.
Best EXO quote ever, because it was true.
Yep. But Exio, I'll only be making one more highly produced Sly Cooper video. And after that, I'll be...
See, that's a funny cover-up for the fact that if I ever do a Sly Cooper video again, it probably won't be with a 20,000-page script. So that's what I pound as highly produced, because the Sly movie is dead is not a highly produced video, so
yeah,
something like that might always come out. So if I said I'm never making a Sly video again, then I would obviously just be an idiot and lying. So
yep. But yeah, please feel free to go check out Jay of Jay's Reviews. Go check it. Recently, he just released an hour and 45-minute long review of Metal Gear Solid 2 with the side quest gamer who appeared in the Meteor Herd episode I posted last week.
And trust me, it was a good video, because one guy in the comments said it was better than Matthew Matosis and Super Bunny Hop combined. So that's a compliment.
If you like sitting down for an hour while someone else explains the plot of Metal Gear Solid 2 to you and all of its complexity and pretentiousness, feel free to go...
Pretentiousness?
Yes. I think that plot is way up its own ass, but that's a review for another day. But yeah, the video itself is good though, so go out and check that out and support both of those fellas. So... yeah, next time we meet, we'll be in Security Hall with Metropolis Zone. Until then, I'm Exio, and that is Jay, and I will see you guys next time.